Hi, I'm Justin,
I'm Charlotte.
and this is Sweethearts or Rivals podcast
Number three.
three.
What are we going to talk about today?
Today we're going to talk about math trades. And this is actually going to be kind of a companion podcast to a video that we are releasing at the same time. So you can check out the video at youtube.com/sweethearts or rivals. And then this is the follow-up to our math trade adventures.
Right.
So what's a math trade?
In my own words, or technically.
Sure. You explain it in your words. What do you think?
Well, a math trade to me is you can list all the games that you want to put up for trade.
Yep.
You don't necessarily have to want to get rid of them. It's just if some good games come up on the math trade that I want, these are the games that I'm ready right now to trade away.
This is true.
To gain some games that I want to try out or I've always wanted to try.
Yeah. But there's no obligation that you're going to lose that game.
Right.
Yep. So that's a good point. Excellent.
Yeah, on a previous video, my favorite description of a math trade is 100 people throw 100 games in a swimming pool, and then they all dive in and save one each.
Okay. It's a pretty good system that requires a lot of mathematical computational power, which I guess is why it's called a math trade. Because instead of trying to fumble through, I will trade this game to one person and they will give me the game I want back, which sometimes works perfectly fine, but sometimes doesn't. You have a whole bunch of people all willing to give up some games, and I might give my game to Buddy A, and Buddy A gives his game to Buddy B, and Buddy B gives his game to me. So it's not a straightforward two-person back and forth. These are all the games we're all willing to give up, and then we make a want list of what we're willing to trade for, and then the program figures out the best possible way to trade it all around.
Right.
Which is kind of awesome because it makes more trades possible.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a math trade. On the video, I go through how it works, how to check them out on Board Game Geek, how to put your want list together, and all that kind of crazy awesome stuff. The video kind of leaves off with what happens after the trade has finished. And so we're going to pick that up here. Once you have the results, you're going to be told what games you're going to be giving away and to who. And you're going to be told what games you're going to be receiving and from who. That you're going to then have to, if it's a standard math trade, pay for the shipping for your games to go out. And then you're going to wait for your games to arrive. And if any of that breaks down, that person is usually then flagged and they're not allowed to participate in future math trades. So it's kind of on an honor system, and we've only been a part of a couple of math trades, but we haven't seen any problems yet.
No.
Which is nice.
Yep.
If you're part of a no-ship math trade, which is even better, it means you're going to actually physically show up at a arranged meeting spot at a specific time, and then you're going to have the best thing to do is have little tags of paper or post-it notes attached to your games with the recipient's name on it, and that way they can go to all the people, and then you wait for your games to kind of show up, and then everyone does their trading, and everyone's got a big armful of new games.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been a part of 2 of those, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so that kind of wraps up the intro to math trades and how to do them and how they work. So now we get to talk about our math trades that we've recently been a part of.
Yeah.
Because we've been a part of 3 math trades in the last month or so.
Right. See, I don't count that one where we didn't get any games.
I suppose it's true.
It kind of didn't happen.
Yeah.
Like, it was only the want list and putting our games on, and that was it.
Yep. So we were part of 2 successful math trades recently.
Right.
Okay. So the first one was a no-ship math trade, and we put some things in there. And what did we end up getting rid of, shuffling off?
We did trade away Myth.
Yep.
which is a big kind of little dungeon crawly miniatures game.
Yeah, yeah. And we also got rid of
Aquasphere,
yeah.
which was surprising that we wanted to trade that one away.
It was I don't know. Well, I don't know if it was surprising. I mean, you can. We did do a full review of it, so you can always watch that to see the reasons.
Yes.
But it was disappointing, the game, because we're big
Yeah.
Stefan Feld fans.
Right, and I looked forward to getting that game for a long time.
Yes.
And
me
we
too.
we didn't even wait for it to be released in North America.
No, we managed to get an import from Board Game Bliss.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I think a big part of the disappointment with that game was way too restrictive, at least for me, to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And when you start collecting, like when you start getting a really large collection of games, something that becomes really important for your games is to have very clearly intuitive gameplay. And it didn't. And like we actually played it wrong for quite a few times before somebody let us know that.
And we played it a lot of times, and I think we did like a Twitch.
Yep.
Played it wrong on Twitch.
Yeah.
So we got some rules explanations for that.
Yeah.
Then played it how we thought it was right, and it got a little less fun.
Yeah.
And then we did the review, and on our playthrough, I think, didn't we play something else wrong? And then got another rules explanation.
It's possible.
Played it again the right way.
Yep.
It was less fun even
Yeah.
for me, every time I got corrected and played it the right way, it got a little less fun each time.
Yeah. More restrictive,
So,
less intuitive.
yeah, and when you have a lot of games,
You need intuitive. I get asked that a lot by people like, how do you remember the rules to so many games? Well,
you don't.
good game design has intuitive game rules so that you can look at stuff and go, well, that makes sense.
Yes, but also when you play a ton of games and you don't get to play them a lot of times in a row,
Yeah.
sometimes you do have to reread the rules a
Yeah.
little bit and
Oh, yeah.
relearn the game kind of, not all over again, but you have to like brush it up.
Yeah.
Which, that game, it was kind of getting impossible to do that.
Yeah.
For us.
Yeah. So that's why we got rid of Aquasphere. I was really looking forward to a really cool theme and a Stefan Feld, and it fell flat for us.
Yeah, it was a cool theme.
Yep.
That really was attractive to me, but...
And for more reasons
well.
on why we shuffled off Aquasphere, you can watch our full review.
Yeah.
Now, Myth. We shuffled off Myth. And for me, Myth was kind of one of those that looks really cool and sounds really cool. And I was kind of sitting on the fence, and then I think we got it because it was a really good sale.
It went on a crazy sale, and it was an impulse buy. And we thought, yeah, we got to try this out
and I think we got like free shipping for a whole order because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we decided to just check it out, and I was reading a lot of stuff about how the rules weren't so good because we got a first edition. And I wasn't too worried about the rules because we play a lot of role-playing games, and I didn't find the rules to be undecipherable. They weren't the best, but they weren't horrible. And so we played it, and what did you think?
Well, one thing I didn't like about it, because it is kind of a role-playing kind of game.
Yep.
It wasn't like a persistent progress.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get to keep what your character gains on your mission.
Which was kind of odd.
Well, it was just a little disappointing. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, you work through all that, and you get treasure and whatnot, and then if you're going to play after that, you have to start from the beginning kind of all over again.
I know. It was kind of weird, like, hey, let's play again. That's great, but that really awesome sword that I got, I apparently tripped last night or drank too much at the bar, and it's gone.
Someone stole it.
Yeah.
A rogue stole it.
It's just like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing that really stays with your character is if you can make it through an entire campaign, you get to keep like a little tiny title with a little tiny bonus.
Yeah.
And then there's like the treasure cup, which sometimes gets better tokens that might lead to better treasure later on, but it's still not treasure that you get to keep between adventures.
Right.
Yeah.
And another thing was just, it wasn't so much exploration I found or adventuring. It was all, here's monsters, here's a monster surge. Oh, we're going to kill some more monsters and have another monster surge. And then what happens after that? Oh, another monster surge, and we get to kill more monsters.
Yeah. I would have been I would have enjoyed the experience a whole lot more if there were like bigger, challenging monsters instead of just numbers. Because that's what it was. Is just okay. Well,
Yeah,
here's
yeah,
another 15 monsters that are coming out, and the whole board is covered.
yeah.
And there was an interesting like because the characters I found were powerful, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah. They had cool, and the cards were neat.
Yeah,
Like how the cards were played.
yeah, and it was an interesting balance of don't do too well because you'll have more monsters, but don't too bad. But at the
Right.
same time, it was just too many.
Mm.
Like we had so many minis that came with that, and I think at one point we had them all on the board, and it
Yeah.
was just yeah, it turned out to be a really neat idea that just because of a couple of like directions that it went, it wasn't that fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we shuffled that off.
we did.
And we brought those to the Boardroom Game Cafe in Halifax as part of a no-ship math trade, and we traded them away, and we got Through the Ages.
Yes, which has been a really big hit this summer.
Yeah, we played that quite a bit.
Spoiler. And we got also Le Havre.
Yeah.
Which we haven't played yet.
We have not played that yet, mostly because we've got some videos to put out, so I haven't wanted to get into it yet. We need to like kind of
We need
get
to
some
focus.
stuff. Yeah, we need to get some stuff done first.
Yeah.
But it is an Uwe Rosenberg that I have been really wanting to play because most of our stuff from Uwe Rosenberg is about like farms and stuff, and this one looks totally different, which I've been intrigued by. So I'm looking forward to playing that. Through the Ages, we haven't worked our way up to the full game yet, but we've played the basic games a bunch of times, and we have played the advanced game once.
Yes.
And I've been playing it turn-based games on the Board Game Arena a lot.
Yeah. A lot.
Yeah, and I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to play against you anytime soon now because you've been playing on the Board Game Arena so much that you're probably just going to wipe the table with me.
I don't know about that. There's a lot of stuff that switches when you're going with just a two-player game.
I suppose.
Yeah, there's no alliance cards that you can use. And when we get to the full game and you can use the warfare cards, there's a peaceful variant that you don't use them. I can see us not using them.
Yeah.
And the one disappointment with Through the Ages is that we've got it, and we've been playing it, and we really enjoy it, and we just found out they're coming up with a new edition with updated artwork, and some of the rules have been like tweaked and streamlined. And it's just like, what? We just got it. Ah.
But I mean, had we not, checked it out through the math trade,
It's true.
we might not even really we might not have wanted the new edition.
That's true as well. Yeah.
Like we kind of maybe would have passed over it.
Yeah. It doesn't.
Because it's not pretty.
No, it's.
Sorry to say.
It really isn't. It does not look like a good game.
It looks dry.
Yep.
And tedious, but it's not.
Yeah.
Spoiler. But yeah.
If you've watched a lot of our videos, you probably have picked up on that one of the mechanisms that we really enjoy in a board game is that offering of cards that
Yeah.
or cards or whatever, the offering of stuff that's available, and you can see down the road that 2 turns from now that stuff's going to slide closer and get cheaper.
Yeah, depending on what people take
Yeah.
and from where.
Yeah.
Because only so many of them get totally off the board each round.
Yeah. So that kind of game mechanism is like the centerpiece to Through the Ages. And so all the stuff, like, yes, it's going to help to get used to all the cards and understand them, but you get to learn them by playing the game. They're not always all available.
Right. It's
We
not one of
love
those games.
learning to play games in that way. We love that mechanism, and that is the centerpiece to Through the Ages. So, awesome game. Really
And
enjoy
it does capture the theme really super. The
Yeah.
civilization building.
Absolutely.
Like, I like that. Like, Justin really talked about Nations of Dice game on another podcast.
Yep.
And I definitely like Through the Ages way better.
Yeah. No, I agree. I totally. Through the Ages, much better.
Yep.
Yep. So I'm looking forward to the second edition, and even if we hopefully maybe there's a way we can tweak the first edition with just some of the rule changes.
We'll see.
Yeah, so we'll see. I'm going to keep an eye on that. So that was our first math trade, what we got rid of and what we got. After that, there was the Great Canadian Math Trade, which was a shipping math trade. And we had a couple of smaller games that we figured wouldn't cost us too much in shipping. So we did some trades, where we shuffled off the following 3 games. We shuffled off Tiny Epic Kingdoms, 7 Wonders, the Leaders expansion, and 11sies. So let's start off with maybe 7 Wonders Leaders, because I love 7 Wonders.
7 Wonders is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the reason why I decided to get rid of it is it adds a lot of extra setup time. And then in between turns, you have a whole extra phase to figure stuff out. And a lot of people look at the leaders part and say it's awesome because it gives you a direction to go in. But for all the times I've played with it, I've never been given the leaders cards and that direction and had it work for me. So it just added more time, and I just wanted to play the game. So we took it all out and we traded it away.
Yeah. And I was really indifferent on it. I didn't find it added it adds stuff to the game, but I didn't find it made the game more awesome.
Yeah.
So I was okay with trading that one.
Yep. So we shuffled off that. We still have 7 Wonders, and we have the Cities expansion because that's awesome. And that's all 7 Wonders needs for right now for us. We also shuffled off Tiny Epic Kingdoms, which we got through a Kickstarter.
Right.
Why did we get rid of that?
Well, I played it a few times, and you played it a lot more times than me because you brought it to school.
Yep.
So you got to play it with multiple players rather than just 2.
Yes.
But as a 2-player game, it was underwhelming.
Absolutely. In the 2-player variant, you have your own homeland. So there's the 2 homelands, 1 for each player. But then there's like a 3rd neutral player. And let's say Charlotte decides to attack that land. Their defense is based off of what I'm willing to give up. And there's a strong incentive to give up and like resources to make sure Charlotte doesn't get it because it's worth points. It's me giving up resources to deny Charlotte something. And that's not very satisfying.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be a really cool idea, though, because, like, you are putting your player pieces on someone else's board to try to take over their territory.
Yep.
But I don't know why it looked really cool.
Yep.
But then when I played it, it didn't live up to my expectations, I guess.
Yeah. It is better with more than 2 players. Getting rid of that neutral player brings the game up a whole lot more. But it's not like Risk where you take a bunch of troops in and then roll dice to see, who wins. It's very, very tactical, strategic. Like you got to, and there's bluffing as well. So you hold your die behind your hand, and how much are you willing to sacrifice of your resources to win? And then you can negotiate. Like, I'll put my die to the white flag if you put your die to the white flag, and we'll start an alliance. And then you reveal, and one of you has put it to 1 and just killed that person with 1 resource. That kind of stuff. The kids that I played it with really loved the idea. And because all the battle was based off of like tactical reasoning but not random die rolls, they were always very like shying away from aggression. Unless they could, it was always like a bunch of negotiating of alliances around the table. Like, hey, if me and you work together, we can gang up on that guy over there and beat him into submission. And it wasn't fun. It became a game of bullying.
Yeah, and that's not fun.
No, it wasn't. No, like whenever we played it, again, they always like, oh, this is so awesome. And then nothing would ever happen unless they could bully someone. And if I worked it so that you couldn't bully anyone, no aggression happened. It usually ran out from some other end game reasoning. Yeah. So, not the funnest game. I am really looking forward to Tiny Epic Galaxies.
Yes.
Because that looks like a lot more exploration and expansion instead of extermination.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, and area control is kind of our thing.
Yeah. So, Tiny Epic Kingdoms shuffled off. And then 11sies. 11sies we picked up when we went to the Boardroom Game Cafe.
Well, we played it at the Boardroom Game
Right,
Cafe.
we played it there. Yep.
And it was a cool theme for me, being a girly tea party theme.
Yeah.
Um,
The artwork was neat.
yeah, the artwork was neat.
Yeah.
It's a kind of a cool idea, but I don't think that worked as a 2-player game either.
Yeah. It was very interesting mechanisms of you figuring out where your cards were in this tableau of like face down cards.
Mm-hmm.
And then using tricky stuff to swap things
To
around.
manipulate them, yeah.
But as a 2-player game, it was kind of a back and forth. Like, I'm going to do this, well, I'm going to do that and reverse what you just did. So I'm going to do this, and then you do that, and it reverses. And it's just back and forth until someone finally wins by like 1 point, and it just took a long time to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, it didn't really work out that well for a 2-player game.
We were holding on to it to review it, but then when we saw a few things that came up in the math trade, we were like, well, what do we have in our collection that kind of equals that? And
Yeah.
thought, well, 11Zs it is.
Yeah. And that's something that we have mentioned before, is that sometimes you're not going to see a lot of reviewed games that we don't enjoy, because it's a lot of work to play a game that you don't enjoy. And we're doing this for fun, so
yeah.
Why would we do that?
And if we're doing a playthrough too, and you can tell that we're not really having fun with it.
Yeah, that's not going to be entertaining.
No, and I mean, we're really just here to entertain, to blab about it and have fun.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So, those are the 3 games we shuffled off, and in return, we haven't got these yet, but on the way, we're getting Flip City.
Which is so cute.
Yeah, it looks pretty cute.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of like Machikoro and Imperial Settlers, the art.
Yeah, the art is that style.
All 3 of those games, the artwork reminds me of like some kind of Flash-based web browser
thing
game,
yeah,
like on Facebook or something.
Mm-hmm.
So cool, looks neat. We have Nuns on the Run on its way,
mm-hmm,
which is interesting. This will be the first hidden movement game we will own.
Right.
We've played Spectre Ops, and that's it.
I think that's the only one, yeah.
So this one looks like a theme that we can both get behind. It'll be interesting to see how that works out.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Carcassonne, the Castle, that's on its way.
Right, because we're Carcassonne fans.
Yeah, and this is a 2-player only version of Carcassonne. A lot of reviewers that we respect, it's like their favorite version of Carcassonne.
Mm-hmm.
So looking forward to that.
Cool.
For math trades, would you do it again?
Yes.
Absolutely.
For sure. I think it's definitely better for us, being Canadians, to do no-ship math trades.
Yes, this is true.
Because postage in Canada seems a little on the high side.
Yeah, it cost more in shipping to ship 11Zs to the person who got it than it would for me to have found like a local store and bought a copy and just had them go pick it up.
Right.
Yeah. So that's kind of silly. Not a lot more.
No, but still, it's...
But
yeah.
Probably, like, depending on the store, probably about the same amount.
Right. But if we were to add up of the games that we're receiving,
yep,
their values, or like brand new, if we bought them in a store,
yes,
would we have paid more for the games than we paid in postage?
Yes. So it was definitely worth it.
Yeah, it was a deal, but not a huge deal.
Exactly. And I think a big part of it is just that some games that we don't want anymore are going to like a new home where they'll be appreciated.
Where they want to try those games, yeah.
And the exact same thing with their games is we're getting a couple of games for them.
And that's why Math Trade is so awesome.
Yeah.
Because you buy these games, or maybe you previously have traded for them,
mm-hmm,
and you get to try these new games, and then you realize, oh, maybe they're just not 100% right fit for me.
Yep.
It's way more awesome to be able to trade them in something like a Math Trade, because exactly what you said, like,
yeah,
I'm getting rid of something that I'm kind of done using. I got my money's worth.
mm-hmm.
So then
somebody else gets to enjoy it, and
right,
you get something new to try.
Yeah.
New to you.
Exactly.
So it's almost like a grand recycling scheme for board games.
Not a scheme. It's not like a multi-level.
No, not a scheme, but just whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how many more shipping math trades I'm gonna want to participate in, because this one I thought, hey, we'll just do really small
Small
ones.
ones, yeah.
But I mean, the shipping between 11Zs and Seven Wonders liters was a total of $1 difference, which blew my mind. Like, just that's like, just, it was just crazy that it was really expensive to ship 11Zs.
Yeah.
So I think what I'd like to do is just keep saving up the games that we want to shuffle off for the no ship math trades, which there's usually, well, I think there was one last HalCon,
Yeah.
one in the winter, which I'm not going to do a winter one again.
No, that was very treacherous on the road for us.
Yeah.
Because Halifax is 3 hours away for us.
Yeah.
And those of you who don't know where Halifax is, it's in Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
So sometimes we have okay winters. Sometimes we get like really,
Not so
really
good ones.
bad winters like last year.
So I think saving them up for like a summer and the HalCon convention, where we're going to be in the town or driving there isn't going to be treacherous, and we can just show up and just do the trading. I think that's where it's at.
Although I do have to say that we should keep our eyes on Canadian math trades.
Yeah.
For Grail games.
This is true.
Yeah, because I would pay shipping for a Grail game for sure.
This is true.
If we had, something that could be considered a good trade to get us a Grail.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to write that down. We'll do a podcast sometime on our Grail games.
Yeah, because we have some again.
Yeah. We thought we had caught up.
Yeah.
But now we have found some more.
Yep. So that's where we're gonna wrap up on math trades, and take a look at our video if you're thinking of doing a math trade yourself, and it shows you just kind of how to do things, which is really important because it can be very confusing when you're doing it for the first time.
Yeah, the setup's not really user friendly.
And it doesn't take a lot to understand what you're doing, but you have to put a little time in watching a video to see step by step how to do things like duplicate protection. I was looking at the results of the Canadian math trade, and I don't know if they did it on purpose or if it was a mistake, but it looked like a mistake. One person had gotten 2 copies of the same game. So there's ways to protect yourself so that you're only going to get 1 copy.
Yeah.
So it looked like maybe he hadn't done that. And then I saw one person who
Unless now, you could do that if you were a few people
it's true.
in the same family and you wanted each a copy of something for some reason.
It is possible.
It could be possible they wanted that.
But it looked like it was a mistake.
Yeah, who knows?
And then there was one person who was like getting rid of a game and was receiving a copy of that same game.
Yeah, that wouldn't be very exciting for me. I'd be kind of sad about that.
That was kind of bizarre. It's like, I get to pay shipping to get rid of this game so I can receive it again. Yay!
Yeah, and because you're not trading it to the exact same person, you have to ship it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if you're going to be involved in a math trade, it takes a little bit of work to get used to it, but it's totally worth it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of videos too right on that math trades area. If you watch the video, Justin shows you where the tutorials are.
Yeah, so you don't have to rely on my expertise. You can get it straight from the source.
Just in case he forgot something.
Exactly.
Right.
Anyway, that's podcast number 3. If you'd like to request anything for future podcasts, you can send us an email at sweetheartsorrivals@gmail.com. And we also have our videos at youtube.com/sweetheartsorrivals. And we do live playthroughs at
twitch.tv/sweetheartsorrivals.
And of course, you can always send us an email and say, I'd really like to see you guys play this game.
Right, because you can go on and look at Justin's BGG account.
Yep.
That's just Justin Killam if you search for him.
Yeah.
And see our collection and request a game we'll play.
Absolutely.
Someday we'll have a guild there too.
Yeah, we're setting one up this month. Dun, dun, dun. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you on the next one.
Yeah, we'll talk at you there.
Laters.
Bye.